I'm a 23-year-old woman getting married in January. I just found out my fiancé Mark, 25, invited his old situationship to our wedding without consulting me. For context, Mark and I met on a dating app 2 years ago after he ended a relationship. To be honest, what he and Tracy, a 22-year-old female, had is quite confusing. They met through a mutual friend and developed feelings for each other. Mark told me they never officially dated or slept together, but it was more than friendship. To this day, he keeps her love letters, gifts, and talks about her. Tracy and Mark tried to stay friends after breaking up, but she stopped contact after finding out we started dating. From what I saw on her social media, she's in a relationship, so I'm not worried about her trying to get with my fiancé again. They haven't been in contact for 2 years, but he still has her number and email. I found out about him inviting her when I checked our guest list again and saw her name. I know Tracy isn't a threat to our relationship, but Mark inviting her behind my back makes me feel bad about our whole wedding. He told me he doesn't feel anything for her, yet he made sure to send her an invitation. This is probably me being insecure, but I'm afraid he's not over her, and that fear is slowly creeping into my heart. I don't want to lose him. I don't understand why he's not over her, especially if they were never officially together. From what Mark told me, he was the one who didn't want a relationship since Tracy just started life. I don't know why he's not over her even after 2 years of no contact. I know Tracy is part of his past, his story, but it's been such a long time. Her attending the wedding doesn't make me uncomfortable since I know she won't do anything. The problem is my fiancé and the fact he invited her without telling me. If Mark wanted her there, fine. But I hate that he didn't tell me beforehand, and it's making me think he lied about getting over her. Tracy has a boyfriend and is expecting. Also, she was the one who blocked him everywhere after finding out we were dating. After talking with some friends, I finally understood Mark never really got over Tracy. In the beginning, I was in denial, but I went out with Tom, who is 24, Mark's best friend of many years, to understand what really happened between them. From what Tom told me, Tracy and Mark met through mutual friends. She had just started university and was 17 at the time, while Mark was almost graduating. They stayed friends for 2 years and feelings started to develop. Mark was already working while she was still in college. He only wanted to formally date her after her graduation, so it was never official, even though they shared love letters, gifts, and spent almost every holiday together. Tom told me everyone from their old friend group thought they would marry since they were so sweet together. Their breakup was really unexpected. Tracy was the one who broke up with Mark because their religious values didn't align. She wanted to save herself for marriage. They decided it was better to go separate ways and maybe try again after a few years. But after Mark and I started dating, Tracy realized it was pointless to wait for him and started seeing other people too. She blocked him on everything except email just to have a clean start. I finally realized Mark is hopeful that Tracy would come back to him due to their talks of trying again after a while. It honestly hurts so much, as I loved him deeply. I still haven't confronted him since I'm still shaken up, but I don't know if this marriage will work. And now the wedding has been called off. My parents are cancelling everything for me. I confronted Mark after talking with Tom and made him aware of everything I've been dealing with. His reaction at first was dismissive, almost as if he was trying to escape from the situation. In the end, Mark said he never loved someone like Tracy because it was pure and innocent. She reminded him that not everything is about physical desire, and in the darkest moments of his life, Tracy was like sunlight. Hearing the man you love admit how much he loved another woman is so hurtful. During the talk, I started crying uncontrollably. Mark had the audacity to say he loves me, but it's a different kind of love. I asked why he invited her to our wedding, and he was speechless. Why did he have to throw away our future for something in the past? This hurts so much. Mark told me he knew Tracy didn't block him on email since he helped her get her first job, and professional matters were involved. This is how he was able to send her our wedding invitation, but he meant no harm. When I asked what he meant by this, Mark just said he wanted to make her watch us together and realize what she lost because he was hurt that Tracy was pregnant and not married. The moment Mark mentioned Tracy's pregnancy, alarm bells went off in my head. How did you know about her pregnancy? You said she blocked you everywhere. I could see panic in his eyes as he started to stutter. In the end, I made him give me his phone, and I found more than 5 accounts he was using to stalk Tracy. My stomach felt sick, and I felt like I was going to vomit. I decided to call off the engagement since he was being creepy. Mark threw himself on the floor asking for forgiveness, saying he loves me, just in a different way compared to Tracy, and that he was just hurt that she gave herself to another man while he had begged her countless times for intimacy. This made me feel even more disgusted with him because he felt entitled to her body. I left without taking even a bag with me. Everything is just too much. I can't believe I spent 2 years loving someone who would do this. I also told Tracy everything and about his accounts. I don't know if she saw my messages, but I hope she does. The jealousy I once felt for her transformed into pity, as no woman should go through what Mark has done. Mark wants to meet up with me and doesn't want to break up, but I'm just so tired. I'm thinking about leaving the US and going to another country. Social media isn't for me, so it would be harder for him to stalk me. I don't have anything of great value in Mark's house, except some clothes and makeup, so I don't care if he throws it away. I met up with Tracy and talked about what happened. We met at a cafe, and in the beginning, I was really nervous. I didn't know what her reaction would be because her reply was only, "Hi, let's talk over a cup of coffee." When I was waiting for her, I could feel my back sweating and experienced lots of emotions. Tracy arrived, and I finally understood why Mark was so obsessed with her. She is definitely one of the most beautiful women I've seen. She looks even better in person than in pictures. Tracy greeted me and asked if I was willing to go to her house to talk, since being outside for too long makes her tired. We ordered coffee to go, and it was super awkward. Here's what she told me. First, she apologized for being the reason I'm now single, which I assured her was not her fault. Tracy said she received the invitation but was simply not interested in attending our wedding as she was already in a happy relationship, and it was pointless to see someone from the past. With the story Tom and Mark told me, I got curious and asked about them staying friends, as it sounded like she wanted to stay with him after the breakup, which is the opposite of her behavior. Tracy was extremely uncomfortable with this question but still explained. In the beginning, she was really in love with Mark because he was her first love. She described him as a protector, someone trustworthy, handsome, and kind, as he always showered her with gifts and trips. Everything was fine and sweet, but over time, Mark started pressuring her for intimacy to the point where she would pretend to be sick just to avoid him. She just didn't want to be intimate with him and had some sort of blockage, like a sixth sense telling her not to. She grew tired of this and used the fact that her parents are extremely religious to justify why intimacy was off the table. This led to a fight, which Mark never told me about, and them breaking up. But 2 weeks after, they started talking again as she felt indebted to him since he helped her get a job at a prestigious company, and he spent a lot of money on her with trips, food, and presents. One of the gifts was a Rolex for her 18th birthday, which made me mad since he never spent that much money on me. So when Tracy found out Mark and I were seeing each other, she felt relieved and finally had a proper reason to block him everywhere, since he was still sometimes hinting about them being intimate. I told her that throughout our entire relationship, Mark would sometimes talk about her, and in the beginning it was kind of weird, but I just brushed it off since she was part of his story. I also talked about Mark's numerous accounts, and initially she didn't believe me, but I showed her the accounts I knew about, which was creepy since they all had female names, followers, and pictures. All of them looked real. Her account was public, so I asked Tracy to make it private. She made a new account with her Korean name and deactivated the old one. We had fun and became friends. She is a really sweet person, and I saw how her boyfriend treated her like a queen. I'm happy she found love and got rid of Mark. Sometimes the red flags are waving right in front of us, but we choose to ignore them because of love. I learned that when someone keeps talking about their ex, keeps their gifts and letters, and goes behind your back, these aren't small issues you can brush aside. These are warning signs of much deeper problems. I'm sharing my story so others don't make the same mistake. Trust your instincts when something feels off. Don't settle for being someone's second choice or different kind of love. You deserve someone who chooses you completely, not someone who's still looking back at what could have been. The right person won't make you compete with ghosts from their past. And remember, it's better to call off a wedding than to end a marriage. Better to face the temporary pain of leaving than the permanent pain of staying where you're not truly valued. I'm still healing, but I know I made the right choice. And I hope my story helps someone else find the courage to choose themselves too.